So after 100 days of war, this article is giving us a recce of where we're up to in terms of ships that have been lost at sea. So this is the 14th of December 1939, and it's in the high seas section, and the article's titled The First 100 Days. And it says that on land and in the air, the war against Hitlerism has been stalemated, but the ships of the Royal Navy had by this week spent 100 days of vigorous warfare. In that time, some 40 U-boats, which at present are the chief weapon of Germany's small Reichsmarine, had been sent to the bottom, whilst only 50,000 tons of British warships had been lost. These were the battleship Royal Oak, the aircraft carrier Courageous, the armed merchantman Rawalpindi, the destroyers Gypsy and Blanche, and one submarine. The last, however, was lost as a result of an accident. Damaged but not sunk was the 1,690-ton destroyer Jersey, which last week struggled into port with 2 officers and 8 ratings killed after a torpedo attack by a U-boat. Built in Cowes and launched last year, the Jersey is armed with 6 4.7-inch guns and 10 torpedo tubes. Jersey Islanders had collected £1,500 for her men when she was commissioned. On the same day, it was revealed that the destroyer mined on November the 13th was HMS Blanche, a 35-knot Tyne-built vessel which had many adventures in the Spanish Civil War. In 1936, she was bombed off Melilla. Meanwhile, more merchant vessels were sent to the bottom of the sea by mines. Survivors of the Royal Mail Line cargo ship Navasota revealed when they landed that some of the 43 men who perished had broken their necks as they had jumped overboard, their life jackets being forced upward by the impact of the water. None of the crew saw the U-boat, which attacked 2 hours before dark. Many firemen were trapped below as Navasota shuddered, listed and settled below mountainous waves in 8 minutes. Some ABs were washed overboard and never seen again. Others were sucked below as the ship dived to the bottom. The Newcastle steamer Thomas Walton sank off Vestfjorden in Norway after a mysterious explosion. 14 seamen were killed and 2 others died soon afterwards. The ship was probably torpedoed, declared Captain Townsend. When she sank, 11 men were in the forepart of the ship. It was terrible to hear their cries as they were drowned, but it was impossible to save them. We were thrown into cold water, in which some of us remained for an hour and a half before we were saved. The 22 survivors were taken to Bergen, where an inquiry will be held into the loss of the ship. Horrifying. Really, really horrifying. It then says Nazis taped, orating with all the polish and bravura of an actor. First Lord Winston Churchill informed MPs last week that, firstly, in addition to our armed merchant cruisers, we have armed already more than 1,000 merchant ships for self-defence, and the process is proceeding with all possible speed. It will not be long before 2,000 are so armed. And then secondly, the newest anti-submarine detection device was becoming increasingly efficient. About 340,000 tonnes of shipping was lost in the first 3 months out of the British Empire's grand total of 21 million. Transfers, prizes and new vessels amounted to 280,000 tonnes, leaving a net loss of 60,000 tonnes. If you like this content, please like and subscribe and have a look at my channel, Not History But News, where I'm reviewing old newspapers from the 1930s and the 1940s, and there's loads more stuff like this. Thanks for listening.